The United States government is pushing detransition. They want us to detransition. They want the concept of detransition to be so scary that people stop pursuing medical transition, and they are actively trying to inflate detransition rates to justify trans healthcare bans. The end goal here is to push the false social contagion narrative that being trans is just a phase, and everyone who transitions ends up regretting it and detransitions. And therefore, all of the attacks on our rights are justified, we don't need trans healthcare, we need conversion therapy, and so on. That is what conservatives have literally been saying for years, so it's not surprising, but it is concerning because now the administration that's in power is trying to make it happen. So I want to talk about some of this stuff that the Trump administration has been doing over the last couple months. And let's start with Trump ordering the National Institutes of Health to study transition regret and detransition. So last month, the Trump administration sent out a memo that says the NIH must study the impact of social transition and/or chemical and surgical mutilation, love that, among children who transition. Specifically, the White House wants the NIH to study regret and detransition among children and adults who have transitioned. This is very important to the president and the secretary, the memo says, referring to the president and RFK Jr. It adds, they would like us to have funding announcements within the next 6 months to get this moving. And keep in mind, they've just defunded all of the actual trans research, essentially throwing out all of these ongoing, really important studies for trans health that would show the effectiveness and importance of trans healthcare and transition. So now instead, they're only funding studies that will prove that transition is bad to support their political agenda. Deleting the science that we don't agree with and paying people to come to the conclusions that we've already come up with. Cool. Now, I'm sure pretty much everyone watching this knows, but obligatory, I gotta say it. Every major medical association supports medical transition, and all of the evidence we have shows that transition regret rate is extremely low. Less than 1%, it's lower than any other outpatient medical treatment. And that's something that obviously trans advocates have been pointing to amongst all these healthcare bans, and now the Trump administration is just creating their own science to refute that, I guess. Ideally, that would not be something that the government would be prioritizing at this point in time, but they are. Keeping up with trans issues right now gets exhausting, which is why I use Ground News, the sponsor of this video. Their website and app compiles news coverage from around the world in one place and provides us with key insight on how each story is being covered. When I'm looking for a quick rundown of what's going on with a story like this one, I'll check out the summary that provides a short bullet point list of key points being covered, and the bias comparison to see how differently it's being framed by left and right-wing news outlets. And when I want to dig deeper into a story, Ground News provides helpful context about each news source, like their political bias, factuality rating, and who owns them. Staying up to date without getting sucked into doom scrolling, as well as being able to see what the right is saying about us without having to interact with their content, has been a game changer for me. And that truly is thanks to Ground News. And right now they're giving my viewers 40% off the Unlimited Access Vantage plan. That's the same one that I use. So go to groundnews.com/Turner or click my link in the description below and check it out. Next, let's talk about the Trump administration hosting detransition events. The effort put into Detrans Awareness Day shows the Trump admin's priorities. So this was back in March. The day was a signal that the Trump administration will continue to prop up those who fearmonger and spread misinformation about trans people. The Department of Education and some Republican lawmakers on Wednesday hosted several people who no longer identify as transgender and who actively lobby against transition care, as well as anti-trans activists and medical professionals to honor Detrans Awareness Day, a signal that the Trump administration will continue to prop up those who fearmonger and spread misinformation about trans people as it aggressively makes cuts to federal government resources. Yup, these Detrans Awareness events are being held alongside multiple other GOP-sponsored events that were put together by GenSpect, a very well-known anti-trans group. When anti-trans model bills go out, the groups that push anti-trans laws will literally pay to fly these detransitioners to all of these different court hearings to testify against trans rights. And so now they are having this series of events on Capitol Hill that are being attended by GOP members, as well as the Department of Education hosting a panel of detrans people to essentially consult with them. They talked about things like banning trans healthcare, obviously, social media turning everyone trans, obviously, and how they can get more anti-trans laws to pass. Sweet. Now, aside from the actions that they're taking to directly push detransition, all of the other anti-trans laws also promote detransition, banning us from various spaces, forcibly outing us at work and school, obstructing our access to medical transition. All of these things make it harder for trans people to exist. And the most common reason that people detransition is because they have to. They cannot live comfortably or safely as a trans person. And on top of the anti-trans legislation, you have all of the fear-mongering and transphobia being spewed by the right. That also makes it harder for trans people to exist. If someone is at risk of losing their job, being kicked out of their home, becoming isolated from their friends and family, they are more likely to detransition out of necessity. And that's the goal. They just don't want trans people, and that's what they're trying to do. It's dumb, and it's not gonna work. It's not gonna stop me from existing and living a happy, fulfilled life. I got a smoke show wife, I got a home full of lovely little pets, and I've got a very hairy butt crack. So joke's on them. You can suck the testosterone out of my cold, hard dick, Donald Trump. Yeah, I think that about covers it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to subscribe. To join the Goose Troop today, give this video a thumbs up because one like equals one honk. Check out the merch over on SkeletyTurner.com. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.